Mountain lions are in desperate need of our help. They need us to reduce major threats to their survival. Threats such as trophy hunting, traffic collisions, habitat loss and fragmentation, poisonings from rodenticides, and our own fear and misunderstanding. To achieve this, we bring in top experts with the necessary experience to help people learn how to peacefully coexist with this beautiful American icon.
What are some of the common misconceptions about these cats and how do they compare to reality? Can you maybe talk about some of your experiences with mountain lions?
Sure. Misconceptions are, the list is long and varied, but some of the big ones I'd say are that mountain lions are all the same. And that's a really important one because it influences how we manage them, how we conserve them, how people perceive them. But mountain lions are actually individual animals with different personalities, different strengths, different weaknesses. And it's so not true that they are all the same. A lot of folks just think that mountain lions are out to get them, that they are naturally aggressive and ferocious. That, again, is just not true. They are a timid, very cautious species that does almost everything to avoid confrontation. I often compare them with bobcats because bobcats are much more aggressive as an animal. You think twice about getting into a small enclosure with a bobcat, but I do that with mountain lions all the time and without much trepidation. They're just a very calm species. The misconceptions are on and on that they're loners, that they kind of live alone, that they're born killing machines. No, that's not true either. They have to actually learn how to hunt. Some are better than others. Some learn different skills than others. They have interactions with their neighbors with regularity. And, I think the evidence is mounting that mountain lions actually require communities on some level to survive in the wild, and that they can never be viewed as individuals living alone, separate from other mountain lions in the wild.
Another problem that I see all the time, and I bring up to reporters and journalists, is sensational reporting. It's uninformed. It puts out misinformation about predators to the public, and that leads to a tremendous amount of fear. I hear all the time from the public that predators are everything from monsters to murderers to everything else. I literally meet people who are afraid to walk out on trails because they're afraid a mountain lion's going to pounce on them. And that is not going to happen. It's incredibly rare. We need to rethink our perception of non-human species in general. It's not like it was 50 years ago. We now know that other species are intelligent, feeling animals, and I believe that our management practices have to actually reflect that. Wildlands have become these isolated little islands instead of one big contiguous habitat and connected ecosystems that animals can disperse out onto. And this causes tremendous problems. Ecological sustainability is not possible the way I hear people think it is. We have to look at the fact that we're not going to stop our population growth or development. And so the solutions that we are going to be approaching or taking approach on have to be dynamic, and they have to keep changing with the time. It's not something that we can make a decision on, say we've reached ecological sustainability, and that's it then. Mountain lions are not monsters. They're just predators that are trying to live in a very complicated world. And they're not out to hunt us. They really prefer to stay away from us. Some people believe that mountain lions will stalk people all the time. That is not true. They just want to live their lives. They want to protect their kittens and they want to feed them. So I do believe we can coexist.
So Yellowstone has a similar history to a lot of the other states, especially in the West, where there's a long history of persecution of large carnivores. Over the turn of the 20th century, we saw some federally directed removal of large carnivores. And in Yellowstone, cougars and wolves were eradicated by the mid-1920s and mid-1930s. Now, bears, on the other hand, were saved from this persecution because they were used as a tourism attraction to try to bring people to the park. Since it was just newly created, they were trying to make it a tourism attraction and bring some regional economic wealth. And so up in the top left corner of your screen, you can see there was actually roadside bear feeding encouraged by the Park Service. And it was a big draw for people to come from all over the country to come to Yellowstone and feed bears. Cougars recolonized the area in the early to mid 80s. Now, as I said too, the wolves were actually reintroduced. It was a government program that captured wolves from Canada, brought them down, and released them into the park. Now, cougars didn't need that human help. They actually were probably existing outside of the park in the vast wilderness areas where humans couldn't quite get to them, and they were able to recolonize themselves back to the area. So after they started to see repeated sign of cougars, they decided in 1987 to initiate the first phase of cougar research in Yellowstone. And so from 87 to 1993, they started studying cougars with the primary idea of trying to get an idea of what's the population estimate during this time frame, as well as getting some baseline information prior to wolves being released back onto the landscape.
We could prepare school children, in these areas of the East and the Midwest where the cougars will be coming through, just what cougar biology is all about, just what these creatures are all about, because they've probably been filled with a lot of myths and whatnot, the more the dramatic versions of the cougar story. And just to explain to them that these animals are more fascinating than they are fearful. They're to be respected, yes, but they're not coming all this way to attack us. These are animals that are very important to our ecosystem, and we should welcome them. And there's many other places, for example, where people live very, very well with these. And kids have a way of getting to their parents. That's one thing. And you can stand here as an adult and argue all you want, with somebody who's got their mindset. You're not going to get anywhere. But a kid comes home from school and says, we should start recycling, or maybe we should, maybe we should be nicer if a cougar comes to town, and hope that we can start a conversation that way through the family. Stop killing and trapping them. We don't need to do this. And it only causes more troubles. That's the thing, we think we're doing a big service by, slaying the beast, by getting rid of these monsters, but really it just causes more troubles. You disrupt their social hierarchy. You invite in the bad actors, the teens, you orphan kittens that end up starving, and these are the ones that are most likely are going to get into trouble. There really isn't any reason to kill mountain lions.
Our native lions deserve our respect and protection rather than our fear and misunderstanding. Join the Mountain Lion Foundation in creating a world that allows this important species to thrive in the wild, fulfilling its important role that nature intended. Donate, volunteer, follow us on social media, and register for online lectures.